Welcome, friends, to the Gamer Down and Artifact Hotspots, number 10, Stonefield. I saved one of the better ones for towards the end, down to the last two episodes. Only got one more after this one. Went by quickly, but that's alright. I'm starting off today in Stonefield, out at Dreadbone Shelf, and I usually, stop by here because it's on my way to my main hotspot. I stop by here because there's usually about 10 or so artifacts just kind of hanging around waiting for me. But they have a little bit of a low spawn rate. So I just usually come by here on Dreadbone Shelf and collect what I can, and then I move on to a really great area for artifact hunting. I think only second to Iron Pine Peaks, really. I get so many artifacts from Stonefield. That's pretty nuts. And I get plenty of blues as well. I get tons of blue artifacts out here. As you see right here on Dreadbone Shelf, there's just quite a ton of them just laying about. And I usually will come through Dreadbone Shelf and I'll collect a big old bag full. Then I'll move on to the next area, which I'll be showing you here in a little bit. There is, also a lot of advantage to being in Stonefield. If you're on a PvP server, then, and you're a guardian, everybody around is low level. If you're a defiant, you might not get as much out of coming to Stonefield because it's, pretty close to your capital, and there's a lot of people, hunting this area for your faction. A lot of it depends on your population of your server and all that good stuff. I'm on Wolfsbane, and this area gets pretty packed with noobs running through, defiant noobs. And, I'm on a PvE server too, so there's, I don't have to worry about PvP. I can just artifact hunt all I like and not have to worry about that. That's just how I am. Not that I don't enjoy a good PvP battle every once in a while. So in about a 5-minute period of time, I've probably got about 10 artifacts out of this little zone here, this little area right there on Dreadbone. And, they will spawn pretty good, but it's not the best spawn rate. When you walk up here, you'll probably see a ton of them. And then they'll have to repopulate. So it takes them a little bit of time. And now we're at the area that I just love. This is my ultimate favorite area right here. It's called the Far Mine Loop. And just like the name would imply, I think the devs put that name in there as a hint. And you see the mountain right there? All around this mountain is just loaded with artifacts. And you just need to go around and around the loop. They're on the floor of the valley here. They're up on the rocks. They're everywhere. This is an awesome area with a very high spawn rate. By the time you've made your loop, they're already spawning. So it's almost constant artifact gathering. And you bring an empty backpack. That's all I have to say. And I like this area because there are no mobs that you have to fight at all. Even in Iron Pine Peaks, you're going to get aggro every once in a while, even at level 50. But here, I can do what I want, say what I want, and artifact gather all I want as well. And I won't be bothered by any mobs. And it can be a leisurely, rainy day, and I can get all the artifacts I want. And you see there are people here. So you will have to contend with that, with the people leveling up on the Defiant side. But it's just crazy amount of artifacts right here. And I got about 2 blues on this run, and it was awesome. But I used them myself. I didn't even sell them. I didn't even have those artifacts. It's amazing, it's like even as many artifacts as I do have, and as many collections as I've completed, I still am not done. I still have artifacts to find as well. I guess that's why I enjoy artifact hunting. But yeah, one thing that kind of sucks though is once you do have so many collections done, it is very, very rare that you come across something that you actually need. You know, that's the way it's going to go. And you know, when you're coming around this loop here, be sure and climb up on the mountains here and get a bird's eye view. That way you can make sure that you are seeing everything, you know, keep your eyes peeled, everything like that. You can honestly just bypass Dreadbone Shelf and come right to the loop, and you know, you're gonna walk away with plenty. You know, you're gonna end up with a full inventory by the end of it all. You know, if you just spend about like 20 or 30 minutes, or you know, you're gonna have so many artifacts that you're gonna need to go and unload, most likely. It is a constant spawn rate right here, and you know, that's what these the point of these videos are, is to show you these little crazy places like this that just have artifacts everywhere, the hotspots. You know, that's why how I came up with this idea when I was artifact hunting. You know, I would always come across like one really good area per zone, with the exception of like the drought lands. But there's always just this one area. And now that I've getting close to the end of this series, you've pretty much seen every single area that I hunt artifacts in, and my tips, my techniques. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, then you should go back and check those out. My highly recommended areas are Iron Pine Peaks and Stonefield. They have such excellent spawn rates. You know, it's very satisfying because you're getting so many artifacts. And once again, to reiterate a tip, the best way to make cash is to go to the low-level zones of your opposite factions, you know, area. You know, that's the way to make the cash, because people will go hunt artifacts as close as they can to them. You know, they're having artifacts from Stonefield as a guardian. There's not very many of them in the auction house, and vice versa. Like Silverwood artifacts in the Defiant auction house are pretty rare. So you can pretty much name your own price. You know, I mean, that's how I've made just a ton of money. I know that my backpack doesn't reflect my money. I have an alt, and also that I spend money like crazy. I just do stupid things like we'll spend 60 platinum on creating an item to sell that won't sell. Yeah, I do try other methods to make cash, and there's nothing that can compare to artifact hunting. I try the crafting. I have like some of the best crafting recipes, and none of the stuff sells. It cost me like 50 platinum to make this really awesome two-handed weapon like you see on my back. It's called the Flesh Ripper, and I put it in the auction house for just a little bit over what the mats cost. And between the posting fee and the mats, and you know, the thing doesn't look like it's ever going to sell. I've had it in the auction house over and over, and while I churn out artifacts just constantly and constantly, they constantly sell. Everybody wants an artifact. You know, they're a huge commodity, a huge business. And like I said, you know, I've said it repeatedly and many times before. You know, if you are a guardian, go over to like Stonefield and like this place. I mean, you're gonna just rake in the platinum. And if you are a Defiant, you know, go over to like Silverwood or even Gloamwood. You know, they have some pretty good rates over there. And Iron Pine Peaks, like I've mentioned before, you really can't beat that area. I mean, it has an off-the-hook spawn rate. I mean, it's just the most constant spawning. I mean, you can't gather the artifacts quick enough before they're spawning. And yeah, that's kind of like it is right here as well. As you see with just this one continuous scene, you know, how I'm just coming across them over and over and over. So, yeah, you're going to make a lot of cash. And this has been Artifact Hotspots number 10, Stonefield. I am Darkosis, your host, and the channel name is The Gamer Down. If you like these videos, thumbs up. It really helps me out, and it helps the channel out. If you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe. That helps me out as well. We'll be having lots more Rift stuff coming up. We're coming close to the end of Artifact Hotspots. There's only one more episode after this. Then I'm going to have to move on to other things. I've already started a rare mob kill dex. If you haven't checked that out, it's worth checking out. If you're interested in getting your bounty hunter achievement and finding all those rare mobs with ease instead of beating your head in the keyboard trying to find them, it's not as easy as it might sound. So with that, I will leave you, and thanks again for watching my videos. I do appreciate it.